He's back, and we've only watched 4 episodes so far, so we're gonna let you know what we think. All right, Pancakes.
Yes, sir.
I know you cannot hold your excitement for this, okay? So, tell us, what are we talking about today?
Where's my camera? So like I've been saying for a long time in previous videos, I was excited for Daredevil March 2025. Now it's March 2025. And let me tell you something. So at the halfway point, 4 episodes in, this show is so friggin' good. It's living up to the hype. But it started out with a bang. A certain event. A kick right in the feels. Hell, friggin' kick right in the balls. We heard rumors, we heard speculation. Should we talk about that first?
Let's go for it. Why not?
All right, so episode 1, well, we knew the show's been in the news for the past couple years. Production went under a revamp. The strikes were actually a blessing in disguise. Marvel Studios took a look at it and say, hold your horses. We don't like what we're seeing. You know, they kept a lot of elements, but they revamped it. They brought back Foggy and Karen Page, Eldon and Deborah to the roles. They're like, we have no choice. We have to connect it to the original show. They brought back the original Vanessa. They brought back Bullseye. So, opening scene, rumors has it that Daredevil wasn't going to... Matt was going to put on the Daredevil costume to, like, way later in the season.
Yeah.
But it's like, no. They're like, no. Let's after hiring new directors, new writers, new showrunner, do you want to take it from here? Should I just keep going?
So, while Pancakes takes a deep breath and understands the issue that happened here.
I still need therapy for what happened.
Yes, he does. But okay, let's start with the beginning, right?
Yes, sir.
So the first episode was part of the rewrites.
I guess.
Episode 2 and 3 were supposed to be episodes 1 and 2.
With some reshoots probably in there, of course.
Yes. But the reshoots happened and we got episode 1. We got an introduction to this Daredevil who he's still friends with Foggy and Karen. And
they have the firm Nelson, Murdoch, and Page.
Right, and they're making somewhat money now as opposed to not making anything. They're winning their cases, and the situation happens where Bullseye comes out of nowhere and says, I'm going to kill Foggy. And he actually does. Matt falls for it. He ends up fighting Bullseye, which was a great stairwell fight.
That whole opening introduction was well done despite the heartbreaking event.
Yes,
that
it was.
So it was even before the revamp, it had been decided that Foggy was going to be killed.
Right.
That this was decided, like, we have to raise the stakes for Matt. We have to give him an emotional, they haven't done this in 6-7 years. They had to rock the boat from what Charlie Cox was saying. They were worried about the reaction, but they had to, I guess, make an impact. So I understand from a storytelling standpoint. However, I have this whole thing, this is just my emotions coming into it, with certain character deaths. Like, I feel like they could have put him in a coma. They could have put him in serious condition. I still think it would have given Matt the same motivation and purpose.
Wait, Pancakes.
Yes, Speed.
Listen, the show's not over.
No, it's not.
We could be seeing Foggy come back from the dead by the end.
There is an interesting Easter egg. Eldon Hansen's supposed to be coming back for season 2, but as far as where we stand, it's most likely for flashbacks, and maybe Matt sees him in a dream, because they do have 6 years of events that could show us, like, what happened to them during the blip.
How he end up shagging with She-Hulk.
That too.
We haven't found that out yet, so.
But there is that interesting Easter egg, a certain number. I think it was 864 from a certain Daredevil comic where Foggy did fake his death. And comic book events, maybe not so much in the live action MCU, but, that could be a seed planted, so you never know. For now, he's dead, and this is Matt's motivation. It's too early to say.
This show has gotten Joe, I'm telling you, this show has messed with your emotions so much. You have no idea
because we wanted this back so long.
We got it.
I mean, since Marvel TV came back under the same roof as more, with the movies and everything's one, we had little seeds here and there. Kingpin and Hawkeye, Matt Murdock and Spider-Man, and then he appeared in Echo and She-Hulk, like you mentioned. What do you call it? Kingpin was the main villain on Echo on a miniseries. So, and then we had the big announcement and revamp. So, we're finally here. We've been wanting this for a long time. They're in the main MCU. The Netflix show is canon. On and on we go. But I was expecting, I'm sure Foggy and Karen would have been in danger at various points. But I guess for now, because of the events, Foggy's the motivation. Matt gave up the mask and the suit for now, and Karen moved away. So hopefully, they just bring him in for a one shot. But enough of that. There's still other things that happen.
Yeah. So basically, that was all in episode 1.
That was episode 1.
Right. Episode 2, we start to get into what this show is really going to be about, right? It's going to be a procedural,
a crime
drama, right?
Which I didn't know how I feel until it was in front of us, until it was on my TV screen to see what we had.
Right. So now we get in episode 2, we get what is his name? White Tiger.
Yeah.
And,
Hector, yeah.
Okay, so Hector, he goes on and he does his thing he's saving people, but in his civvies, in his regular clothes, he's walking down the train station, and what does he see? He sees 2 guys attacking one guy. He goes to help. Accidentally, one of the guys gets thrown into an oncoming train, and then what happens? That person dies. Little do we know, he's also an undercover cop. And because of that, the man gets arrested, and now we have our court scene drama where we have Matt trying to get this man off of being considered a murderer and sent off to prison.
So the comment on Charlie Cox's acting in those scenes as Matt Murdock, the lawyer, give this man an Emmy nomination for Best Lead in Drama right now, because he is killing it in these scenes. Yes, we came back for Daredevil in the action. We got that opening scene, and we got him fighting the cops in the apartment of the only witness of what happened in the subway. But they're putting emphasis on the human interaction, which I'm been blown away by so far. Daredevil's coming. We'll see it. We had that little hint of episode 4 where Matt's calling.
Wait. Before you go, jumping. Let's go.
Let's go. With the courtroom,
I know. Yeah. Okay. So courtroom. What happens? We have Hector being tried for murder.
We have all the odds basically stacked against him. He's accused of killing a New York City cop. The first hearing is courtroom full of cops. Before Matt can even speak, and the judge is like, "No bail, next." But he's like, "Your Honor."
Okay, so here's one thing I loved about the courtroom drama that was going on, and which made me happy,
right,
that they're bringing this into this world, right? So originally, Matt Murdock goes up to the judge and says, "We don't want anybody to know that he's the White Tiger." But towards the end, where he looks like he's losing his case, not looks, but he is losing the case.
Matt's hand is forced.
Matt's hand is forced, and he ends up in the courtroom telling everybody, yes, but this man can't kill the cops because he's a vigilante who saves people called the White Tiger. Now, because of that, I kind of felt bad for Hector. When he specifically tells Matt, and he goes, "That wasn't your thing to say.
You should have asked me.
You should have asked me, right?" And it kind of makes me feel like Matt went a little overboard just so he could win.
But here's the thing, though. Matt did everything in his power to protect that one witness who's a drug addict. They even his PI, who's a former cop himself, went above and beyond. Matt found him at the apartment, said, "Escape through the window down the fire escape." Matt put himself in harm's way to fight those corrupt cops. And then when they did everything they could to get him to the stand, he was a liar. So somebody got to him.
Right.
That was their whole case was built on this one witness that they tracked down.
But again, he should have spoken
Right.
to Hector and
Yes.
told him, listen, if all else fails, I'm going to pull this out of my hat.
Well, Hector did originally hide from him that he was the vigilante, the White Tiger.
Well, wouldn't you? Oh, and there's one other thing that I forgot to mention. So listen to this. Ready? When he had originally told the judge that they can't tell people that he was the White Tiger, he brought up this little fact that he gets all his powers from his amulet, right? So if he had the amulet, do you think that he would not use it to fight off cops or anything like that? So he wasn't trying to really kill these people because he didn't have his amulet on, which gives him his strength, right?
Indeed. On the other side of the coin, Vincent D'Onofrio back as Kingpin.
Amazing as always.
Yeah,
Vanessa.
Vanessa. Stealing straight from the comic, Fisk becoming mayor of New York.
Yes.
Particularly the mayor. He's trying to be better, but the true Kingpin's still there. He blackmails the police commissioner to stay on the job. He's like, oh, so the cheesesteak bit was kind of funny.
Yep.
He threatened the secret family of the police commissioner. What do you think of James Gandolfini?
Yeah, I wanted to bring that up. So,
do you think it's a bit overacting, or is he a lot better than he was in Saints of Newark?
well, here's the thing. In Saints of Newark, he was playing a totally different character. He had to be somewhat serious, but also play somewhat like his father, right? In this, he has like an overly comedic role, sort of.
Yeah.
Like he's playing like a dunce almost in a way. Like he's like a dummy. Like he let things out of his mouth. Like he said things that he was not supposed to.
He has no filter at all.
He has no filter, and he just verbal diarrhea, and he just keeps going, and it got him into trouble in episode 4. Now, before we jump to episode 4, in episode 3, he was on the highway with Fisk.
Oh my God.
And Fisk, and there's a pothole. There's a big pothole. And Fisk is like, as the mayor, I'm going to fix this pothole right now. And what does he do? He stops everyone and he wants them to fix a pothole because it's causing so much traffic and he can't get to work. Like, to me, I wish we had a mayor, as New Yorkers, I wish we had a mayor who was like that. So anyway, the point I'm trying to make is like, Fisk came in and he wants to get results done. He doesn't care. And when he's trying to do everything, all of a sudden his people are like, you can't do that, you can't do that, you can't do that. You have to do this, and this first before we could actually get the okay to do that.
One funny thing I saw about the giant pothole in the highway, it was left over from Spider-Man No Way Home when Green Goblin...
Oh, was it?
No.
That makes sense, though.
It makes sense, but it looks like the same highway. But,
okay.
But no, I think it's a few years apart.
Damn, I was kind of hoping, like, wow, that was a good catch. I didn't even think of that.
Like, to go back to the first episode, we have before they keep them apart for a while, we have Matt and Fisk in the diner.
Oh yeah, I forgot. How did I forget that? Go ahead.
They had Matt and Fisk, great scene. Taken straight out of the movie Heat, like as a tribute. Saying like they have like a weird mutual understanding.
Yes.
Like if you go out of line, I'll pull out the other guy. I'll pull out my alter ego.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it was great. And let's fast forward now, right?
Yes.
We're gonna fast forward. Let's fast forward. We did episode 1, 2, and 3. Oh, by the way, in episode 3, White Tiger gets shot at the end.
After Matt does his job and gets him off, that he was completely innocent, but that puts him in the line of fire.
Right.
Literally.
And what happens? A guy comes out of nowhere, which to me kind of annoys me because you're the White Tiger and some guy comes out of nowhere and he snoops right from behind you and he shoots you in the side of the head. Like, to me, it didn't feel authentic that he would die like that. But sure, let's go with it. And then what do? The guy shoots him in the head and he starts walking. And what do? You see Punisher's skull outfit. Right. And you're like, oh my God, did Frank Castle just whack the White Tiger? Episode 4, who do we get? We get none other than Frank Castle, Punisher himself in that episode. And let me tell you, the scene that Frank Castle had with Matt Murdock.
Oh my God, chills.
That scene was amazing. I have got to say, it almost rivals the scene from the rooftop.
The rooftop scene from season 2.
From season 2. So, take it away.
So Matt tracks him down. He admitted that he was staking out his next kill, correct?
Right.
So yeah, it was a great scene. Like Matt's been keeping in all this emotion, and Frank pulls it out of him. Like Matt's priest got killed in season 3, so he can't go to him. He's keeping all this emotion, and he's like, "Don't say his name. Don't say his name." You didn't want Frank to mention Foggy's name. And he's like, you and me could do, I'm just paraphrasing here, you and me could do a lifetime of good, but we wouldn't be half the decent person that he is.
Yeah.
It was strongly a powerful scene, to see.
That's the scene right there.
There's right there. It's not, in the previews, I thought it was going to be Matt Murdock recruiting Frank to help him in whatever mission. Totally wrong.
Yeah, you were way off.
I was way off, but, we see Frank dismisses, those guys as fanboys. It's like a cult following, within the NYPD in this show that, with the Punisher logos. Also, another thing, like, another villain on the rise. What do you think of Muse? Like, the serial killer? So,
after all this said and done, that's what happens in all 4 episodes, right? And to answer your question about what I think about Muse, he's one sick puppy.
Yes. He's a serial killer for a reason.
He is one sick puppy. The fact that you're sitting here and you're killing people, right? You're killing people just to take their blood
to use for his art.
For your art, to draw or graffiti or whatever it is. I will say you are insane, my friend, and I'm all for it. I am so into like finding out, hopefully in episode 5, we start finding out more about Muse and why he does it, or how he does it, or anything that has to do with him.
Now, are we possibly heading in the direction that Daredevil and Kingpin have to team up to stop this? Because it looks like Matt's heading back in the sea. Oh, we got that cliffhanger at the end of episode 4. Matt goes up to his, I guess, secret lair, quote unquote. We see all the Daredevil masks.
Right.
He pulls out the batons. He's
not practicing, but he's more like working out.
Yeah, to see if
he couldn't go to sleep.
So, like, the main villain is gonna be Muse by the end.
Well, we all know that Muse is the main villain.
But we see Matt and Fisk trying to stay away from their alter egos, but they know deep down that's their true selves. Like, we see Matt go on the rooftop. We see the mask, messing around with his weapon. Then we see the true Fisk that is, as him and his wife drift apart. She got a new boy.
Speaking of that, since you brought that up,
poor Adam.
So in all 4 episodes, we have Fisk and Vanessa having marital problems, right?
Yeah, because he went away. He got shot by Echo. He went to Oklahoma to go after her. So
because of that, he comes back. He wants to run for mayor. She took over the whole empire.
Pretty much, yeah.
So she's technically, she's the kingpin.
Or the queen.
The queenpin. Right. So she takes over everything. She's doing everything. She's trying to run everything sort of peaceful. Nobody's dying. There's no turf wars. So she's doing probably a better job than he is.
Except Red Hook.
Right. Okay. But that's because the water's there. It's the docks and everything, and they want to take that over. But the point I'm trying to make is that this whole situation that we're having between Vanessa and Kingpin, or Fisk rather, they're going to a counselor.
Right.
And it just so happens that counselor is also dating Matt. What a small world New York is. Anyway, so with that said, guys.
What a ride so far. We're only 4 episodes in. We think we have 5. Oh, man, we still got a long way to go.
Anyway, so this week coming up, we have another, it's a double whammy because
5 and 6
it's going to be 5 and 6. And I think, what is it, a total of 8 episodes or 9?
I think it's 9.
Okay, so we're going to have 2 episodes now, 1 each afterwards.
And season 2 is currently in production.
Right. So with that said, let us know in the comment section down below, what do you think about Daredevil so far? I will say this, though. Daredevil is great, but the Penguin so far was better. Let us know.